Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what is my time? My time is a set of experiences that have happened over my lifetime that I hope will be of value to you. This is another episode of the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. This is my time. So for those of you that just heard the previous podcast about Joe McCarrow changing my life, you know that I went to work for the #1 mortgage bank in production in San Diego County, and they wouldn't let me in the builder group. Joe, who ran the builder group, wouldn't let me in. So I ended up going to work. My assistant was fired by the manager of the #1 producing mortgage bank in San Diego County, and he went to work for the #2 producing mortgage company. He didn't know it at the time, but he did. He went to work for them, ironically enough, because he had played on, a friend of his in high school, was on his high school golf team, was one of the loan officers at this other company. He didn't know it was the #2 producing mortgage bank in San Diego County at the time. I found out later. But they ended up calling me and recruiting me over. I ended up joining their builder group. And one of the things that happened, one of the things that they did to try to recruit me was they guaranteed me an annual income. And this was kind of a good thing because I was in a place where I was just getting started in my business. I was just getting married. So I had just joined them and literally got married just a couple of weeks later. And having that guarantee made me feel better, certainly. And also it helped going into my marriage. One of the things that my wife and I agreed to, and you'll hear more about this later, but one of the things my wife and I agreed to in premarital counseling was we would get married, but we wouldn't have children for the first 5 years. That would give me time because we agreed that we didn't want a daycare or a nanny or somebody raising our children. We wanted my wife raising our children. And so we wanted her to be able to be at home. She didn't want to work while the babies were here. And so once she had Michael, our firstborn, in October of 1998, she didn't want to work anymore, and that's fine. I just had to get my business built up enough income-wise to where I could handle supporting all of us. And the thing was, I did it in my fourth year, or probably in the end of my third year. So beginning of my fourth year, we were getting pregnant, literally. So I was actually way ahead of schedule. That was really cool. That was a good thing, right? But you want to make sure that you plan. You want to make sure that you have those things figured out. So I ended up going to work for this company, and one of the advantages to it was they said, look, if we get an account, we'll actually put you on that account. So we'll put you on that account, which is, again, another sort of reassurance of security to an extent, and I really was looking for that at this time in my life because I was newly married and all that. So the first assignment that they gave me was a home builder that was on their second project in San Diego County. And so I went out to the project and I walked in. They were still in temporary space in the actual clubhouse of the master plan community because their models weren't done yet. But they were getting all set up and getting ready to start sales and all that. And I went in, walked in the door. Well, who was standing there but Joe, who was the head of the builder group from my previous company. And when I walked in, he started laughing from his big belly laugh. And I walked in and I said, hey, Joe, it's good to see you. What's so funny? And he said, Mike, you're wasting your time, man. I've got an agreement with the builder. I know I'm getting a certain amount from this builder in terms of production, in terms of deals. And the rest is not going to be enough. If you spend time out here, you're not going to be able to feed your family. So you might as well leave. Joe, I really appreciate it. But, thanks for the advice, right? And I didn't really listen to him. I just kind of hung out, went over, introduced myself to the sales manager and to the sales associate. Told him it was great to meet him. I was looking forward to working with him. And then Joe leaves. Well, he didn't any more than walk out the door. And the sales manager goes like, wags her finger at me and goes, come here. So I go over to her. She says, listen, I haven't sold a house with an FHA or VA loan in 10 years. I need to get up to speed. I need you to get me up to speed and not tell anybody. I can't trust that guy that just walked out of here. He has a written agreement with the builder. You, however, if you'll come out here and you'll help get me up to speed when we know he won't be here, then I'll make sure that you get your share. By the second phase of this development, he was no longer the lead lender. I was. I was absolutely dominating there. And that lender went to the builder and said, hey, you're not living up to our agreement. The builder said, you know something? All I hear is Mike Litton this and Mike Litton that. When I go out there, I see Mike Litton out there. I don't see you out there. I see Mike out there. All I hear is all these wonderful things about Mike. So here's the deal. We don't do this thing where you whine about what you're getting or not getting. So there's the door. You're no longer on this account. I'm going to call Mike and let him know he's our only lender for now. And I think he'll be okay with that. That's literally what happened. And then that company, within a couple of years, was the number one home builder in the world. The number one largest home builder in the world, a company called D.R. Horton Custom Homes. And I was their lender in San Diego County. And at one point I was doing 70% of all of their loans. It was amazing. It was an incredible ride. It was an amazing few years with them. And I made friends that I still have to this day. And that was many, many, many years ago. It was 25 plus years ago. And many of those people are still friends of mine today. So here's the deal. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. And when your competition wants to give you career advice, just smile and thank them and move on. Don't listen to it. Follow your gut. Do what you believe you're capable of and go out there and work hard and focus. If you focus and you work hard and you, for instance, metaphorically burn the ships and you've got no other option, you will succeed. I'm going to tell you a story about another thing that we did in 4 years by our 4th wedding anniversary that was supposed to take 10 years. I'll tell you that in another episode of Mike Time. This was the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. This was Mike Time. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out calendly.com/Rio760.